In this lesson, I want to talk about tools. I do not want to cover all the tools and talk about the individual stuff. That we'll do a little bit later in the course, but I want to talk about what is important to have in your toolbar and also what I mostly keep in my toolbar and what you can use as a beginner. Also, while we're at it, right away you guys can see we still have the canvas from the previous lesson. So basically what I want to show you guys is that you can also take this canvas, you can clip it here, so it again clips to the back if you have the application selected. If the application frame is not selected like me now, then you can easily switch between background and again Photoshop. And if I want to press F now, I also kind of have an application frame. So that's why I don't work with the application frame. I always press F before I get right away into it. And now I can also move things and not be distracted from my background. But if I quickly need to get out, I can just jump out like that. Great, let's start talking about the tools a bit. First of all, I'm going to go back to Edit and select the toolbar over here. Remember, you can also do that over here. So select toolbar, and make this window a little bit bigger. And right away, I want to start talking about all the tools that I have in my toolbar. So it's not important to know now exactly what they are doing, but it's just important to know which I keep in my toolbar. Also, once you have a good idea of what the tools do and how to work with them, then rearrange your toolbar a little bit and try to customize it to your own preferences. Okay, let's start right away with the first one, which is again the move tool for me. Very important to moving layers and things around. Then rectangular and ecliptic marking tool, both again nice things to create selections and new things. So basically with selections you can create different shapes also. Then lasso tool and magnetic lasso tool, both great tools if you're a beginner and need to cut out certain things. This magnetic lasso tool comes in quite handy if you're not good with the pen tool yet. So as a beginner, I also started out with the magnetic lasso tool and then one day forced myself to learn the pen tool and we got better at that. Then also we have the quick selection tool and the magic wand, both great tools to creating really quick selections. Also, if you're not familiar with the pen tool, working with the magic wand is a treat. Then let's also head over to clone and healing brush. So clone stamp tool and healing brush, both of them I work on a daily basis with them when I do retouchings. So these would definitely come in handy on your toolbar as well. Crop tool, slice tool and slice select tool. I don't work so much with these two, but crop tool quite a lot. So also very handy. Then for a beginner, the eyedropper tool, the color sample tool and the red eye tool are also three tools that are pretty handy when you don't know anything about color and struggling maybe with red eye or you want to sample a certain color. So I also work quite a lot just with the eyedropper tool. But most of these tools, I do not select them over on the left hand side from the toolbar. I'm literally just hitting the buttons here at the back in order to get there quicker with the keyboard shortcuts. So it would be also wise for you to start studying these letters, which mean a certain letter for, again, the brush. But sometimes it's very easy, like B for brush. Then also eraser tool, great for a beginner, working with erasing things and eraser tool. Then blur and smudge tool, also two great tools when you have to blur or smudge a little bit of some cutouts, especially advanced masks. But yeah, you will get to learn more about the tools in a bit later. Gradient tool, also a really great tool to add some effects to designs or again, color light fall in images. Horizontal type tool and vertical type tool, also both great to have in the toolbar for adding text, obviously. Then we still have the pen tool and all its partners here that come with the pen tool. So these help you to add anchors, delete anchors, convert point, and also the pen tool obviously itself. Once you started out maybe with the magnetic lasso tool, once you manage this and you think, okay, you need to upgrade, then I would suggest you learn how to work with the pen tool in order to get really good for cutouts. Then also we have the path selection and direct selection. So this is once you have worked with the pen tool always creates a path. So these tools then come in handy when you want to readjust or change something from the path from the pen tool. Also some shapes have paths, or most shapes. So this also comes in handy. I'll teach you guys all about this in a bit later. Then we still have custom shape and a few more shapes, but they're all called round, a rectangular tool, elliptical tool, rectangular tool, etc. These are all shapes though. So the custom shape tool is filled up with a library with a ton of shapes. These are also included in the course. I've added it as the bonus lectures and bonus stuff. So again, you get to get all of my shapes as well. I do work quite a lot with them as well. Then we still have the hand and zoom tool. So hand tool, very handy to move around in. Zoom tool, also great if zooming in and out. This comes back again to the navigator over here. If you do not know how to work with the zoom tool, you can also here work with the navigator for the beginning. But I would suggest you learn the zoom tool right away. Okay, so you can still rearrange this, and once you are done, you can just save it and hit done as well. So your toolbar is set. Then one more specific thing that you need to learn is down here are two blocks. So basically white and black. This means it's your foreground and background color. So whatever is on the foreground, that's what you are currently brushing or painting with. So say for instance, if you are working with the brush on a complete new empty layer, I'll show it to you guys quickly. Don't worry, you don't need to know what I'm doing right now. I'll just want to show you the effect. If I select the brush now and I will start painting now roughly, you will see that I'm actually painting with white. That is because my foreground color is currently set to white here. If I change this, or meaning if I click on this and go to the color picker, so basically it's a new window, the color picker, I can now select whatever I want, whatever color I need here. I can add values or even the hashtag numbers here to get the same color that I need. Say for instance, we're gonna go with this pink or purple here, hit OK. This is my foreground color now. So if I paint, it will paint this color. If I switch this, that's why we have this little arrow over here. The black background, black color will go to the front, and the front foreground color, pink here, will go to the back. So this means now if I continue brushing, I'm now brushing black. So whatever is in the front, that will always be in the foreground, and whatever is in the back will always be your background. And then you guys also see here are still two more blocks. That means reset. So once I click this, it resets it to black and white. I tend to use the keyboard shortcuts for that. So X to switch the colors and D to reset. X to switch the colors and D to reset. The same goes for when I have red, say as my foreground, and again, my background color green. If I hit X now, it will only switch. So background, foreground color, it will only switch. If I hit D, it will reset everything. But you can do pretty much the same here, just with the arrow and also with the block. But it's just easier and quicker when you do this on the keyboard shortcut. One more thing that I want to show you guys also is if you have this foreground color set, say for instance you go to gradient, you'll also now have the gradient here set to black and white. So that's the standard preset from Photoshop. Let's hit cancel quickly. Go over here, switch to a new color, background also green again, hit OK. If I now go to the gradient, you'll see that everything changes again to the new gradient. Again, standard setting, foreground color and background color. And then obviously a few more, but more about the gradient in the gradient tool lesson. Okay, so say for instance, if I'm on a new layer now and try to replicate this, it will again change from the foreground color into background color. If I hit X on the keyboard, in order to change the foreground colors, it will do exactly the opposite. Bam, green top, red at the bottom. But more about this in the gradient tool. For now, I just want to delete everything again and just want you to understand that if you press X, you change the foreground colors, and if you hit D, the foreground colors change again. And the foreground colors are always the colors that Photoshop paints with in the foreground or the background.